Hey guys, it's Owen from Wrestling Inc. back with another wrestling news roundup. Without any further ado, let's get into today's biggest stories in the world of professional wrestling. Stephanie McMahon announces leave of absence from WWE. In a shocking turn of events, WWE Chief Brand Officer Stephanie McMahon announced yesterday afternoon that she is stepping away from WWE for the foreseeable future. McMahon released a statement on Twitter announcing the move, while also signaling that she would eventually return to her post. Quote, "As of tomorrow, I am taking a leave of absence from the majority of my responsibilities at WWE," McMahon tweeted. "WWE is a lifelong legacy for me, and I look forward to returning to the company that I love after taking this time to focus on my family." McMahon gave no reason for her leave of absence at this time, nor did she provide a timetable for her eventual return. It is unknown at this time who will fill McMahon's role as CBO during her absence. According to a report by PW Insider, McMahon's announcement came as a shock within WWE, with many who work there being taken aback by the news. The report also states that no one in WWE, save for those in what was described as, quote, the most inner circle, had any idea McMahon would be taking a leave of absence. In addition to PW Insider, WrestleNomics' Brandon Thurston indicated on Twitter that the news of Stephanie McMahon's leave of absence came as a shock to those within WWE whom he had spoken to as well. Quote, "WWE employees I've heard from found out about Stephanie's leave of absence when she tweeted it," Thurston said. WWE President and Chief Revenue Officer Nick Khan will be taking over most of Stephanie McMahon's duties at WWE, according to Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics. Quote, "Nick Khan will be taking over most of Stephanie McMahon's duties in her absence, according to multiple people at WWE," Thurston tweeted. Quote, "Select business partners have already been informed." While there is no time frame for her return, Stephanie McMahon will resume her duties as WWE's Chief Brand Officer in the future, according to the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter. It was noted that Paul Triple H Levesque has returned to his office duties full-time after suffering a cardiac event last year. During his absence, Stephanie was apparently forced to take on many of his responsibilities. Dave Meltzer reports that Stephanie's leave of absence was absolutely her choice, and the decision to step away from WWE for a while had been made some time ago. This is not something Stephanie decided to do yesterday, nor does it sound like she was forced or pressured to relieve her duties. Although Stephanie was contemplating taking a break for some time, it was also noted that virtually no one within WWE knew about Stephanie's impending exit, except for a few who remained tight-lipped until Stephanie released the info on Twitter. This echoes other reports about who within WWE knew that this was coming. In Stephanie's tweet, she mentioned that she was taking time away to focus on her family. Although that is a big part of the reason for her departure, it was also stated that there is likely more to it, and the few people who knew weren't saying much, except that some of the basic reasons being given are not accurate. As far as what Stephanie's decision means for the future of WWE, at this point there is only speculation. The newsletter also confirmed what WrestleNomics reported, that WWE President and Chief Revenue Officer Nick Khan will be taking over most of Stephanie's duties with immediate effect. Furthermore, all those who previously reported to Stephanie will now be reporting to Khan. Stephanie has been the public face of WWE for nearly 2 decades. Beside being the CBO, she is a member of the WWE Board of Directors, and aside from Vince McMahon, she remains the only original McMahon family member actively working for the company. Stephanie also owns around 2.5% of the WWE stock, which is valued at around $116 million. Backstage notes on WWE creative confused by Money in the Bank commercial. As reported earlier, WWE Chairman Vince McMahon added the line in the recent Money in the Bank commercial that the winners of the briefcases would get a title shot at WrestleMania. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, the line left a lot of people within WWE Creative confused, as they were under the impression that the plan was to go forward with traditional Money in the Bank and Royal Rumble rules. It was noted that they had no idea why the commercial aired as it did, and then continued to air when it was made clear internally that the briefcase winners won't be involved in the Mania title matches. The report added nobody backstage in WWE knew why the commercial was not edited after it first aired during WrestleMania Backlash earlier this month, especially after the internal clarification. It was also speculated that WWE wants the audience to think that the winners of the briefcases are battling for a Mania title shot. It's possible Vince McMahon simply did not let anyone know of the potential rule change. However, several higher-ups within the company don't believe that to be the case. It's also possible that Vince McMahon added in the line in the commercial knowing that WWE has a stadium to fill for the July 2nd event at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas and figured this strategy would sell more tickets. In the Money in the Bank commercial that continued to air this week, Cody Rhodes continues to say, quote, "One lucky male and female superstar will win the chance to main event WrestleMania," end quote. Backstage news on Tessa Blanchard and WOW. As we've noted, Tessa Blanchard and WOW Wrestling reportedly had a falling out ahead of the promotion's relaunch. It was alleged that during a mid-April class, Blanchard cut a promo on Samantha Sage, who is known as Americana. The promo reportedly saw Blanchard, quote, "tear apart Sage," which led to other trainees speaking up. According to a new report from Fightful Select, Tessa Blanchard is not figured into WOW's plans, and she was not at their recent tapings. It was not told officially that she was fired. While issues between Tessa Blanchard and WOW were first learned in mid-April, sources noted that they witnessed friction as far back as January. Blanchard was reportedly, quote, "livid" that a planned January tryout was cancelled by CBS due to COVID, with David McLane getting the finger pointed at him. Blanchard reportedly believed they could have done the tryout via Zoom or at an isolated school. One source told the outlet that things had to have gotten bad between David McLane and Tessa Blanchard because he was consistently on her side for years, even through multiple controversies. Sources within the company also revealed that WOW was even able to lure back some people that swore they'd never work with Blanchard again, only to see, quote, "more of the same." Tessa's attitude initially was chalked up to just being passionate among the higher-ups. After the initial Fightful report was published, several people reached out to suggest that there could even be a legal recourse between the two sides, and they were concerned about potentially being involved in it. It was also revealed in the report that AJ Lee was at the recent tapings and worked commentary. After the tapings, a company-wide email went out informing staff that the scheduled early June tapings will be postponed due to a positive COVID test. So what are your thoughts on today's Wrestling News Roundup? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to like and subscribe to Wrestling Inc. and I'll speak for you again very, very soon.